Does divorce have you thinking you're not good enough? That you'll never be loved again? That's totally common, and in today's video we're going to talk about that and one simple tool that can help navigate that space, get that out of your head, and teach you that that isn't the case at all. But before we do jump into that material, I wanted to touch base on the course that's linked below. It's a 7-day course. If you're in the fog of divorce, if you're feeling lost, unsure who you are anymore, 1, this is totally common. 2, the 7-day course will give you new tools, different mindsets, and different habits to move forward out of the funk and fog of divorce. Check it out below. Let me know what you think. Even if you don't like it, I'd love to hear. But back to the content. Today we were talking about the feeling of not feeling enough. Now, for many men, that's a common feeling in divorce. Women often file the divorce more than the men. And that's probably rightfully so, because we don't necessarily hear and see the signals that are sent to us, because men and women communicate differently. That's neither here nor there, and we're not going to go into that in today's video, but we are going to talk about the signal that it's sending. It's saying that something needs attention if you're feeling that way. If you're feeling that you're not enough, that you'll never be loved again, there's a common thread here, a common theme, and there's a tool we're going to talk about today that can help you out of that. The one tool is this: you can't track what you can't manage. And if you're feeling that you're not enough and you'll never be loved again, that means you're not confident in yourself enough. That means you haven't proved it to yourself that you're worthy. Hey, I've been there before. I'm not trying to point any fingers. I'm trying to help you out of that. So, how do we get out of that thought process? How do we abandon that from our vocabulary, more or less? Well, we track what we manage. What does that mean? Well, it's like going to the gym and taking a notebook, or using an app to track your food. It's simple things that can give you awareness. Awareness is where your power lies. When you're aware of your surroundings, you have situational awareness. When you have awareness of your food, you can notice patterns. I know that for me, when I started tracking my food, I could see patterns that were related to stress. So when I was stressed, I would maybe eat more. For some people, that eating more can be eating more unhealthy things. So awareness can be a really powerful thing in divorce because it helps us connect with our feelings. Something that men often aren't all that good at. I believe that somebody said that we can feel 2 things as men, generally speaking, and we don't have connection to those plethora of other emotions and feelings. They can feel happy and they can feel not happy, I believe was the quote. Now, I don't have statistical data on that or any studies that I've read, but it sounds pretty right. You know, for men, we can feel, certainly we know when we're happy. We can also know when we're not happy. So awareness and tracking are powerful things to give you keys about maybe when you're stressed, maybe when you had a long day, maybe when that conversation or negotiation with your ex over some property, some money, or how much time you're going to spend with the kids really did bother you. Once you can see those connections, it's incredible what you'll automatically do. You ask yourself why you're doing those things, and you'll bring awareness to the situation. Generally, the awareness happens after the fact. So in hindsight, you'll say, why did I crush that whole pizza tonight after a long day of work? Or that conversation I didn't want to have with my ex? Or the conversation that was going good but then turned into a bad one? Why did I do X, Y, and Z? You'll start noticing these things in hindsight. I typically find from my personal experience and the men I've worked with. And then you'll also notice that that moment, that window of hindsight starts to shrink. The more time that you give this, the more your awareness grows. You'll start to move to the awareness of you doing these things actually in the moment. And so that's where the power comes from. Of course, you have to choose to want to do something different for the awareness to really mean something. You can say that you want to go run a marathon, but if you never make that first step forward, well then you'll probably never have really much awareness other than, well, you never run. So it's always good to take that first step, to fail forward, and to understand yourself better by building awareness. So I wanted to give you 3 different ways that you can build awareness in yourself after divorce that may be really helpful. Number 1, we already talked about, is track your food. By tracking your food, you're going to understand what your patterns are. You're also going to be able to eventually put it into an application that can tell you if you're eating the right things. You know, we all have battles with food. Some of those battles are greater for others than they are for different people, right? And the battles with food can be really serious. If you start to build awareness by tracking your food, it's amazing the incredible things that can happen. You know, I've always heard that abs were made in the kitchen, and I would tend to agree. When I've been tracking my food, my body seems to naturally respond, and I look and feel better than I ever have. Try it out. Let me know how it goes. It can start as simple as a journal, a food journal. It could be on a piece of paper or a notebook, preferably in the same place every day. Or you could just dive right into an app. Some apps today, you can scan in your food, you can preload it, and you can plan out your whole week if you don't mind eating the same thing or taking the time to sit down and just jot it in. A lot of great applications out there. I'll let you do your own research on that. Number 2, I wanted to challenge you to writing down your feelings. So in divorce, you're going to have all kinds of feelings. If you look at the 5 stages of grief, you're going to see that you're going to go in denial, into anger, into acceptance, and a couple more. And so if you can track those feelings, if you can see where you're at in that stages of grief, because that's what divorce is most of the time. It's a place that men are grieving, whether you want to admit it or not. If you can track those feelings and expand on it, I feel this because this. It's amazing how much the power of the pen can unveil in yourself and give you awareness to those areas that you want to make those improvements or those changes. So we've talked about tracking your food. We've talked about tracking your emotions. And lastly, I want to put this bold one out there. Track your daily screen time. You know, it's real easy to just let the dopamine fix help pass by this hard time in divorce. The hard thing to do is to stand up and to do something different, to do something you've always wanted to do, to go run that marathon, to get back into some kind of physical activity you've always enjoyed doing. Join a recreational soccer team again. Get into frisbee golf, whatever it may be. One, I dare you to get outside because there is just something powerful and healing about nature. Maybe that's why you're here. Maybe you enjoy just watching the scenery that I get to walk through while I speak to you on these videos. And I would say find those places for yourself. Even if it's a neighborhood cul-de-sac, a local trail, there's beauty all around us. And in divorce, it really helps to get outside in nature and move, because there's a healing property about hearing the leaves move in the wind, or the wind cut through the trees, the sun setting, whatever it may be. It sounds pretty ridiculous to be saying that to you, but there is certainly a peace to it all. So Those are the 3 things I'm gonna dare you to track. Track your food, know how your health is, track your feelings, try out journaling. It's incredible and very powerful. And lastly, track, well, I can't recall 100%. Track your time in nature. But that wasn't really the point. The point was track your daily screen time. So we didn't really get into that. I got distracted by the beauty of nature and wanted to share that with you. But track your screen time. It can pull you away from the moments like being out in nature like I am right now. It can pull you away from the special moments of reconnecting with family, friends, and loved ones. The ones that serve you, the ones that you do want in your life. So cut out the screen time, or at least track it, and then make the decision from there. You'll be surprised how much screen time that you have because you get lost. You get lost in it all. So those are the 3 things. You cannot manage anything you don't track. That's why you gotta track it. So if you wanna make a change in anything in your life, if it's food, your feelings and your emotions and how you show up for people, or how you have more time in your life because you put your phone down and not lost in Instagram, YouTube, or wherever that may be, well, hell, you can get lost in YouTube watching these videos. That's perfectly fine. There is nothing wrong with you watching these videos. I hope I hope you get the sense of humor there. But track anything you want to manage. It's amazing what you can do with just a little bit of awareness. You can easily become, in a couple steps, more the man that you've always wanted to be. More like the man you know you are.